up in the sky. Look, it's a bird. It's a plane. It's the Bearded Book Beast with some superhero novel recommendations. What's up, beasties? It's me, Triple B, your friendly neighborhood Bearded Book Beast. Welcome back to the channel. I am so glad you're here. I'm excited to hang out with you and talk about some superhero novels. So, as you know, this week I am reading The Book of Elsewhere by China Miéville and Keanu Reeves. Love it, based on a graphic novel, Berserker by Keanu Reeves. I'm loving it so far. It's very cool. Deals with a immortal character who is working for the U.S. government, really just wants to die. He's been alive for hundreds of years, killing. That's all he does. He's got super strength, and it's just very interesting, very cool. But it got me to thinking, there's not a lot of books for adults that are superhero, like novels. There's obviously comics, graphic novels, but like written word novels that are superhero, that are not skewed towards young adult or middle school. I feel like there's a lot in there, but like towards adults. And I have some, but it's a niche, a little corner of reading that I'd love to dive into more because I love superheroes. And this Book of Elsewhere book has made me start thinking about it. So I'm going to make a list. I've got 8 books, some of them series, some of them standalone, that I have physically, and then 2 that I'm going to tell you about that are digital. And I know there's a lot more, so I would love to do more lists like this after I do some more research and find even more, and after you tell me about some in the comments, hopefully. But before we get started, if you haven't yet, grab yourself a snack, maybe a thirst-quenching refreshment, like this Mountain Dew Zero sugar. Yeah. Ooh, burns so good. Sit back, relax, and enjoy my 10 superhero novels, my list of 10 superhero novels. All right, so in fantasy, there are a few books that I thought of that I thought, oh, those are kind of like superhero, but not quite what I'm looking for here. So, Mask of Mirrors, Rook and Rose, I think is what that is. Yeah, Rook and Rose. Very cool. Bladed Faith by David Daglish. This is by M.A. Carrick. Darkblade Assassin by Andy Peliquin. And Blackwing by Ed McDonald. Kind of like superheroes in a fantasy setting. Very cool series. But not quite what I'm thinking. There are lots of books, novelizations of like story arcs from comics, like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Daredevil, all that stuff, even Zorro. But not quite what I'm talking about. Getting a little closer, there's urban fantasy, heroes, vigilantes, if you will, Repairman Jack, Harry Dresden, Joe Ledger, and of course, there's my man, Sledge, from Sledge versus the Labyrinth. I had to get that in there. And then, even closer, with nothing fantastical, there's just vigilante series. Jack Reacher, James Reese, and Evan Smoke, one of my favorites. So all those are kind of like it, and they're very enjoyable in their own ways, but ooh, now I got all these in my way. Probably gonna knock that down during this video. But I'm thinking of, just like from the comics, superheroes in modern world, in a modern city, wearing costumes, fighting crime, not YA, adult novels. That is something that's hard to find, surprisingly. 10 series that fit the bill. Some you'll probably say, well, that's a little close to what you said about the fantasy ones. And maybe that's true. Maybe there's a couple on here, but they're still very obviously superhero based. So, and I just really like them. Solo, let's get started, shall we? All right, so the first 2 are, I don't have physically. And the first one is called, the series is called D-List Supervillain by Jim Bernheimer. First book is called Confessions of a D-List Supervillain. Put a picture up right here. I read this a long time ago on Kindle, and it was really fun. I liked it a lot. It's very humorous, funny. It's about, as the title says, a D-list supervillain. It's just this guy that's good at like making tech out of junk and stuff. And then like almost think like Brainiac, like something happens with like an alien invasion, or like a, it's been so long since I read it. I don't remember if it's a viral thing like a or if it's an alien. But anyway, they take over the world and take over all these heroes. So now the heroes are bad, the villains are bad, and this guy didn't get affected because of his technology and his suit. So he's like hanging out trying to hide from all these superheroes that are coming for him, including a very like Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Superwoman-esque hero that he's like has a crush on, and she's coming after him. And is just really good. So that is a fun series to check out. The other one is that I haven't checked out, but I want to because it sounds cool, is called Chronicles of Fid. And it's, the first book is Fid's Crusade by David Rice. And this is another thing about a supervillain named Dr. Fid, or I think it's something like that, Dr. Fid. But he basically anti-hero, good guy, bad guy turned good kind of thing, and sounds really good, sounds really cool. I definitely want to check that one out. And then the rest of these I have physically, so let's go through the rest of them and I can show you in my hand. Okay, I did put those books back because for my own good, for your safety, for mine, but mostly for the books. They're like my babies, and that was very irresponsible to leave them there. I could just see me reaching for my thirst quenching refreshment and knocking them down, bent spines, bent corners of pages. Oh, it was just too much for me. So anyway, let's get back to it. So I gave you the 2 digital ones that I don't have, but I do want to get. And now let's get into the other stuff. So the first one I'm going to mention, I've talked about on the channel before, and this is the one that I know you guys are probably going to say, well, hold on, you said modern, set in our world. I know. So that's why this one I'm going to get out of the way first, but it's awesome. And that is the Hybrid Helix by J.C. and Byrne. Just beautiful covers, really awesome book. I am blowing through this thing, and it is so good. I love it. I can't wait to read the rest of the series, and they are just all awesome. It's definitely very clearly a superhero, and it is in space, so you know, I mean, Superman goes into space sometimes, so that one still counts. If you like superheroes, that is a superhero series, and it kicks butt, so definitely check that one out. And then some other ones I've talked about on the channel too. First, if you watched my Unhaul Part 2, where I read the first chapter of 13 books, this was part of it. Raptors 1, Sidekick. And this is really good. Deals with a teenage sidekick to a adult superhero, kind of like Batman and Robin. We follow Robin in this Red Raptor, and it's really good. I do want to read this soon. It was fun. I actually read 3 chapters because it was so good, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a series, so I'm looking forward to reading more. Now the character is 16, so it could be seen as, oh, that's why, but it is adult. It's got humor, it's got some dark stuff, some violence in it, and definitely not YA. So it's good. It's good. All right. A couple other series I've already talked about, and then yeah, I've talked about most of these in little pieces, and you might not have seen it, but another really cool one that I have, X Heroes by Peter Clines. This is really cool. These covers are really cool. Zombie apocalypse, group of superheroes. They all have different cool superpowers, and they're trying to keep these people safe in a like movie studio area in LA. They're surrounded by hordes and hordes of zombies. They call them X's, and it's very cool. There's the first cover. Then we have X Patriots, X Communication, X Purgatory, and Exile. And each book depicts one of the heroes, and it's just really cool. Spines look great together. That's a very fun series. I've read the first 2 books. Really need to get back to that and wrap that up because I really love it. So that's a fun superhero series, and if you like horror too, mixed in there, that's really good. Another fun one that I've talked about is Ghosts of Manhattan by George Mann. Love this series. Also read the first 2 books of this. I need to get back to it. We got Ghosts of Manhattan. This is a steampunk alternate timeline. So it's set in the US, but it's like if we had lost the American Revolution, England, still, the US is still part of that, and they still run things. So it's a very Victorian steampunk. It's pretty sweet. It's a lot of fun. Our main character is like a Batman, kind of a playboy, has lots of money, and he has a lot of gadgets and stuff like that. Just a normal, smart dude, and it's really cool. And then the second book is Ghosts of War. Third book, Ghost of Karnak. And fourth is Ghost of Empire. They're very cool. There's always kind of a Lovecraftian horror vibe, something going on behind the scenes. When he's trying to take down regular villains, there always ends up being something going on. So that one's a fun one. Then another one. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is Soon I Will Be Invincible. This is a library copy. I want to get a real copy. It's got cool, like, just like very plain images, but I don't know, they just pop and it just looks cool to me. But this is cool. It's about a so Dr. Impossible is a villain in it, and then there is a superhero who's like a rookie to like a Justice League team, just joined it. Her name's Fatale. The Champions, that's what she joins. And it's kind of both of their story told as this all this stuff is going on in the world, and there's her point of view and his point of view. Very cool. I've always hoped there'd be a sequel. There has not been one yet. But I don't remember if I read all of this. I did read a lot of it way back in the day. I'll have to revisit it to see if I got all the way through the story, because I can't remember the ending. So I'll have to read this again. But it was really good, what I did read, and very fun, and I hope he makes a sequel someday. This is a great superhero book. And then Bright Eyes, which I recently read. This is awesome. This is a ongoing series. This is the first book. He's going to write more. He's already working on it. And this was a lot of fun. I love Cameraman. Love the originality of the world and all the superheroes and their powers. And I love the way that Cameraman presents it from his point of view. He gives the stats and tells how much of a threat they are. And he's just, again, a really smart dude who's into photography and technology, but he doesn't have any superpowers himself. So pretty cool, very fun. Definitely recommend Bright Eyes, and look for more in the series, the Shutter Click series. And then this is a lot like, not exactly, but similar to like D-list supervillain. This is Starter Villain by John Scalzi. It's got some mixed reviews, but I enjoyed it. It's a short read too. I like John Scalzi's books, and it's about a guy that his is it his uncle or grandpa? Let me see. His late uncle leaves the business to him, and it ends up being a villain business. So he gets left a lair with like ray sharks with like that can shoot rays, and he's divorced, so he's going through some hard times. So he gets this, and then all of a sudden, all the superheroes think he's the new supervillain, so they all are coming for him, and all the villains are coming to try to take all his stuff. So he's got to protect it, or So it's really good. Definitely should check that one out if you haven't yet. And this is a cool special edition. But I do love the regular edition too. It's a little mini hardback. I love those with a cat on it with a suit. I like it. And then the last one I had was this. I talked about the other day in my wrap up. Reading more of this, and I love it. Bought it because I like it so much. Grim Death and Bill the Electrocuted Criminal, by Thomas Nagosky and Mike Magnola, who did Hellboy. And it's like a cool wide hardback or paper. Oh, there goes my alien bookmark. But it is a novel. It does have some sketches in it. But it's very cool. This guy, he's like a vigilante, goes out at night, fights crime. He, kind of a Batman character, but also a little touch of Rorschach, because that mask like speaks to him, and like he hears it talking to him in his head, and its face will shift and stuff. And very cool. I'm really digging this. I'm excited. I wish there was more to it. I've kind of looked up, and I think it's just a standalone, but it was very cool. So that's something you should definitely check out. So yeah, those are 10 superhero books for adults that I have or have read or want to read. If you know of any, leave them in the comments, because I would love to get more into this genre. I love superheroes, love books, and I'd love to mix the two more. And I'm trying to think, there are... Ooh. Yeah, I can't think of it. I know there is a lot out there, but like I said, when I've looked into it, it ended up being YA, which isn't, I mean, that's fun, a little lighthearted superhero thing, but like adult, like it would be cool to find some adult themed, superhero character driven, fiction, with words, not just comics. So that's because this I am loving, and it is really getting me to want to find more stuff like that. So there you go. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And if you like what we're doing here, it'll let you know when I have another video out, and then you can be here to hang out with me again. Also, if you haven't, please leave me a comment. As I said, leave me some recommendations for other superhero books that you know about that I might not know about. Or just say hi, because I love that too. But that's all I got for you. So, beasties, till I see you in the next one, devour those TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see ya.